Hi, I'm Eliza Weber, and I'm Luke's very, very proud mom. Three years ago, Luke was that boy who he describes as flying. He was feeling great. He had beaten cancer twice, and he was finally growing again. He was in his 6th summer at Camp Simcha, and his counselors and his fellow campers were cheering him on, just like they always do at camp and throughout the year. He could run a mile, and he could literally do 100 push-ups in a row. His confidence was as big as a mansion. He was indomitable. He felt like a star. 9 months later, that star fell from the sky. His cancer was back, and this time it was different. This time, Luke understood. He understood that instead of enjoying his summer, he would be getting his port back in his chest. And he would be spending lots of days in the hospital instead of in the swimming pool. He understood that he would have to stop growth hormones and start chemotherapy, radiation, and immunotherapy. He understood that this would not be his last summer at Camp Simcha. He wouldn't be graduating with all of his friends, and that was a big deal for him. The idea of graduating, although bittersweet, was something that he was looking forward to celebrating. And most of all, for the first time, Luke understood that there was no clear answer to that dreaded question that John and I were so afraid he would ask for all of these years. Can I die? Luke was depressed. He didn't want to leave my side. He cried a lot. He regressed. He started to talk and act like a baby. His excitement, his passion, his sparkle faded. He felt alone. He was so sad that John and I wondered whether even Lifeline could make him feel better. Luke and I flew down to the National Institute of Health in Maryland to start a clinical trial that Dr. Wexler, his most amazing doctor, miraculously found a spot for him in. While Luke was waging his battle on the operating table, I was calling in the Lifeline troops. Scott, Moshe, my 5-star generals. Started the search for a counselor to come visit Luke in Maryland. Nachman showed up. We didn't know Nachman, but Nachman knew Luke. He sat by Luke's side for 4 hours that afternoon while Luke lay uncomfortably with a port in his neck, having white blood cells drawn out of it. But in typical Lifeline fashion, they started to play. I don't even know what they were playing. I think they were playing the same game that I had just been playing with Luke minutes before, but for some reason, when you play with mom, it's not a quarter as fun as it is when you play with a Lifeline counselor. I even heard Luke laughing. For the next several months, the counselors kept coming. Not that they had ever stopped coming in all those years. They were always part of our life. But now, Luke desperately needed them, and they knew it. And so they came a lot. They met us at the hospital, at the clinic, at our home. They even would convince Luke to go out to the basketball courts across the street. They slept in the hospital when John and I wanted to be home with our other children, who have been very understanding through this. And when Luke had to miss the High Lifeline Disney trip, which he so badly wanted to go on, they brought Disney to the hospital room. They decorated with stuffed animals, with games, with toys, and especially they decorated with lots of counselors. Luke started to sing again in that hospital room that December. In February 2012, just 2 months later, John and I called Sam Zaks and told him that we were taking Luke to see Matisyahu, Luke's favorite musician, in concert. And Sam arranged a visit between Luke and his idol. The rest was history. Matisyahu invited Luke up on stage in front of 1,000 people to sing his hit song, One Day. The words could not have been more fitting. Sometimes in my tears I drown, and I never let it get me down. But when negativity surrounds, I know someday it will all turn around. The crowd went wild, as Luke would say. Luke was on top of the world again. High Lifeline gave him that moment. They've given him so many of these moments throughout the last 9 years. And they've given these moments to each and every child that they take care of in each and every child's special way, the way that they need it. Thank you, everyone here, for making that possible. Thank you for helping Luke and all these other children to fly again.